What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only, Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,500 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so very much. And yes, we are still living a bit of a pandemic life, but that doesn't mean that you can't get in tune with, your deepest self, darling, and we can't put good energy and good vibrations and overall wellness out into the universe for us. So today I am blessed to have internationally renowned author, speaker, and intuitive energy healer, the wonderful Cyndi Dale. Hey, Cyndi.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. I totally agree. We've got to get the jive on for this coming year.
Yes, we gotta talk it and speak it. Like, people don't understand words have power, and what you think, it absolutely can become your reality. And that's something that I've learned throughout the years, but especially this year, it has been exceptionally trying for all of us. But,
it has been, and it is all about perception. I mean, I sometimes force myself to look at like an object two different ways. Like, okay, Cyndi, if you're angry, how do you see that object? If you're happy, how do you see that object? Even something as simple as that keeps convincing me it's in here. Like, who I am and what I'm going to be, it's all about what's in here.
Makes a difference. So, Cyndi, to start things off, how did you get started in energy work?
Well, I was one of those strange little kids. Maybe a lot of us relate to that, but I honestly could see colors coming off of people. Later, I heard that those are chakras, when I took a class when I was in my 20s. I could hear spirits and ghosts. I knew what was going to happen sometimes to people. I remember going to the first funeral I ever went to. I was 5. My mom's friend Jean had died. See, I still remember this, and I was only 5. Well, there's her body, but I saw her spirit floating up on the ceiling. So it was sort of natural. I actually had a therapist when I was about 20 say, you're not only, OCD and bulimic and all these things, you're psychic. So I was lucky, Ash, I started to get training in other countries. And so I learned about energy and healing and what so often is acceptable in other countries and has only really become more of a fad, I'd say, in the last few years here. Now we call it energy healing. Back then we called it psychic healing.
Gotcha. All right, so I want to touch on a little bit about the 12 chakra systems, and this is new for me because I wasn't really aware that there were actually 12 chakras. Like, I'm just used to the typical, I want to say 7. Is it?
It's usually 7.
Yeah. That's,
so this is why it's cool you asked about when I was young, because when I was little, I saw more than 7 orbs of light around people. And then I read the book that in the 1900s that came to America and Europe and said there's only 7 chakras. It's by a man named, Woodruff or Sir Arthur Avalon. And you know what? He never even said there was 7. He said there was 6. And he said there's different systems. So probably about 25 years ago when I wrote my first book, I put the 12 chakras in that book that I saw. And they've gone worldwide. And, I don't care if people see 12 or 7. Like, find a number that works for you and stick with it. I really work a lot with the extra 5 that are in my system, and now a lot of people have adapted it, because they take us beyond our body. And aren't we more than our body? We are. So our chakra system is too.
Good point. All right, so we've had, I'm sure that you will agree, Cyndi, this has been a crazy year. It's been an absolutely, I don't even have the word to describe what 2020 has done, ultimately for us. But as we move forward and we look on to 2021, how could one tap into their soul chakra to really embrace the goodness that 2021 has to hold for them?
Well, the whole idea of the soul chakra, which I call the 12th chakra, is that and I get to say this because I live in Minnesota where it always snows, we really are as unique as snowflakes. And deep in our heart, that's one of the centers of what I call the 12th chakra, right in the center of the chest, is where we have our very unique gifts and attributes and ways of being, and that are different. Like I have one client whose 12th chakra, the special gift and attribute she has in her 12th chakra is when she writes a story, the ending comes true. My stories don't do that.
Yeah.
So I believe that 2021 is the perfect time for us to commit to saying, whatever is really snowflakey about me, whatever is really unique and unusual and different and is about my soul and it's unlike anybody else's soul, that's how I'm going to shine this year. I'm going to use those abilities, those gifts. I'm going to look through those eyeglasses that are really all about my true self. And I think that's how we shift from 20 to 21, sort of like that butterfly that comes out of the cocoon going, oh my God, I never want to do that again.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to. If you get your wings on, you don't have to.
Gotcha. Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. And it's just like, there's so much stress. I know that unfortunately a lot of people have been sick due to COVID and everything of that nature, but people's emotional state, their mental health has really taken a hit. So do you have any suggestions for people out there that maybe they haven't gone to the doctor in a while, or maybe they're looking to just kind of have overall wellness while we're still dealing with COVID?
Yeah, because it's still here and it's going to be around for a while. So, I think even though I do like subtle energy work, the invisible stuff, I'm a big believer in taking care of ourselves physically and be gentle about that. You don't have to have the whole chocolate cake. Eat a slice of the chocolate cake. And, just start making some changes where you're exercising more, reaching out more. But in my line of work, one of the biggest situations that I think impact people is a lot of the times our darker emotions and even our cravings and our challenges, we pick those up from other people. We can bring those into us energetically, looking at the news, talking to a really depressed friend. It doesn't mean we don't help them, but we have to be aware.
Right.
If we're in a good mood, we talk to a friend, they're in a bad mood, right, when we start, and it's reversed at the end. Those are not our feelings.
No. And how?
So I think we have to be aware that we're open fields of energy, and we have to stay really centered. We have to picture ourselves in our body, tall and, kind of strong. I like to picture sort of like this golden light going all the way down from the heavens through my spine into the center of the earth. That's my connection to what I call the divine. And I want to stay there. Right. I want to stay as me. Right. Then I'm not going to be who I'm not or feel what they're feeling when they're not my feelings.
Yeah. And it's funny that you would bring up that example and say that, because I've actually dealt with that in the last couple of weeks, where I literally had to cut off someone that was seemingly a good friend. However, I had to reevaluate life, as we're dealing with everything with pandemic life, with COVID and everything. And it's just like you said, I would be in a good mood. I'd be in a good place. This person would call me and it would just be all kind of negativity, all kind of pessimistic. And after getting off the phone call with them, I'm like, okay, now I'm in a crabby mood and it's not even me. These are not even my feelings. And so I had to really take charge of the situation and basically end that friendship. But I had a couple people tell me, Ash, you're too dramatic. maybe it wasn't that serious. It was too dramatic. But how do you think that one could have handled that situation?
I think you did fantastic. Okay. What's really interesting is I just did something like that this morning, to be honest. I was at the hairdresser. None of you will know that my hair looks actually like the one day, of the month it looks good. It is right now. But I have a good friend of 30 years, and like what he brings up, I actually started crying in the chair, and I wrote back and I said, I can't do this. I'm not going to talk about this. I can't do this. I need a break.
Yeah.
Because I realized, I'm just sort of part of their play. We all have our own dramas. We have our own play.
Yeah.
And if somebody's inviting you to play a part you don't want to, you get to say no, which I think is what you did and what I did in my own way. So I think just reminding ourselves, we don't have to do their script, and we can just quit the drama. Sometimes we can just take a break. Sometimes we can say, hey, I didn't feel bad before I talked to you. Do you want to tell me what's really going on with you? Because I don't think these are my feelings.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just have to be really clear. And there's that old phrase, take care of ourselves. But if we don't do that, what's the cost to us? I remember years ago, one of my therapists saying to me, Cyndi, if you put up with somebody else's negativity and their abusiveness, you're putting up with it. You're reinforcing that behavior in them. You're telling them it's okay to be that way. Do you really want to do that? To tell them they have permission to act like a you-know-what?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to protect
Makes
your
sense?
peace. You have to protect your peace. I'm so about that now, girl. It's like, as I'm sure that as time comes and we get a little bit more wiser and we have more life experience, there's certain things that you're just not going to put up with. And I'm to that point now. I'm like, I don't care. You don't like me? It's okay. Get over it.
It is. And, it is that, when there is sort of a certain age, and it's probably different for different people. My 22-year-old son has already gotten to that age.
Oh, wow.
I know. He's like way far beyond where I was. And he's like, he'll just say to people, no, I'm not going to do that. Or I don't like that attitude. Or that's not for me.
Oh.
So, amen. Right?
Yeah, it took me a while to get to that place. I think I'm really settled there now, and I'm comfortable now in telling people no. Because I think that I spent a lot of time doing the whole people pleaser thing, I wanted to be everyone's friend.
There's what everybody knows about, which is codependency, which is one level is doing for others what they could be doing for themselves, right?
Yeah.
And putting up with stuff that's not good. But there's also this sort of, what we're sort of skirting and getting into is energetic codependency, where you do their work for them. You feel their feelings for them. You make what's not okay with them okay by putting up with it. You take on their energy. You could, I believe you can even take on somebody's illness because I've done it before.
Oh, yeah. I believe it. Absolutely. You just got to be, like you said, you got to be self-aware. Cyndi,
it is self-aware.
Yes,
yep,
you absolutely have to be self-aware. But, Cyndi, what is next for you? What is on the horizon? What are you, currently working on or looking forward to for the new year?
Well, I have some more books in process. I've written a lot of books, and I've spent so much time as a mom and as a sports person doing sports. I'm actually looking at doing energy work for sports kind of a gig coming up. I'm just very excited, and I have a bunch of classes. They're on my website, CyndiDale.com. I have an 8-month class. I'm going to be doing more with the Shift Network and starting again in July. I've got one class going right now that's energy medicine techniques, and I'll start up with them again in July. So we'll take a breath and get going again. But everything's just on my website that I've got going. And I have a free COVID meditation for people to do some energy healing for COVID and put up some better boundaries.
Yes.
It's free. They just go on there. I think you have to give your name, and you get the meditation.
Yeah. I love that. Yes, we definitely need some meditation and the power of the no. I need to do a show just on that. The power of the no.
It is. And so I'm just CyndiDale.com, spelled weird. CYNDI Dale.com. And I think what kind of what people, really just need to hear right now, it seems to me, is like, you can do it. You can, as long as what you're doing is coming from who you really are, you've got it. You can do it.
Absolutely. I love it. Cyndi, thank you so much for joining us today. I certainly
appreciate you. It's been my pleasure.
Yes, and I would absolutely positively love for you to come back, because I know in the new year there's going to be so much stuff going on. I know that you're going to have all kind of book launches and stuff. I definitely want you to come and share it with us first. I'd appreciate that.
I would love to. We'll let you know, because I think this year's going to be what a great mix. So let's keep digging for treasures in 2021.
Absolutely. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me, just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.